Today on Rich in Relationship, how to stop working harder and harder and not getting the results that you want. I used to have this recurring nightmare. I'm driving this huge truck in New York City, of course. Where else would I be driving it? And sometimes I'm slamming into cars, trying to turn the steering wheel and the truck doesn't turn, or I'd be stomping on that brake and I would be pushing so hard and finally it would come to a halt just to start rolling again. And apparently this is a pretty common nightmare, right? I've had clients come to me and some of them feel like they're running so hard, they're breathing so hard, but they can't get there, they're barely moving. There's a lot of varieties of this dream. And when clients come to me with this experience, I know where they are. They are working so hard and feel like they're getting nowhere. They feel like the ship of their business or their life is out of control. They feel like they're striving and working and putting in the effort, and they're just not getting what they want. There might be striving and working in their marriage, but very often they're working together and their marriage has been sucked up by the business. I have two clients, Brad and Gwen, who had this experience. They came to me and they were struggling. They were struggling because they were running a law firm. The law firm was doing well. It was growing. And with every new hire, they thought, yes, finally, the problem solved. Finally, we're going to get where we want. And yet with every new hire, they weren't making more money, right? It seemed like they were making less and less money, even though they were grossing more and more. And the problem, as we later on identified it, part of the problem is that when you're growing, cash flow gets absorbed by all these new people that you're bringing in. And part of the problem is that Brad and Gwen had not taken full ownership of all the hats of the business. And so there were things that kept getting dropped. There was a constant crisis and somebody would leap in to fix it. And it was in some ways like an adrenaline rush, but in other ways, it was destroying their home life. And what started to happen over time is they started to blame one another for this. Like if you would just do what you were supposed to, we would get this thing under control. We'd be making the money that we need. We'd be having more time together. We'd be showing up for the kids. And it got worse and worse. And I got to tell you, I know this problem. I had it with my mom, actually, not with my wife. My mom and I were in business together. It was called Martinhurst Gardens. It was a cult of personality. It was this business where we created incredible indoor gardens in new Manhattan buildings. I mean, I don't mean just plants. I mean indoor gardens with ponds and waterfalls and islands in the lakes. We did some amazing work. And why do I say it was a cult of personality? My mom is Anglo-Argentine. She has kind of an English accent, and that was very alluring to a lot of people. People assumed that she was a sort of classy woman who really knew her stuff. She has later gone on to tell me that she was clueless about what she was doing, but she could sell ice to Eskimos, basically, with that accent. And she would hire people like herself, right? We had all these people working with us who were huge personalities. We had this crazy Brazilian guy who could do anything with plants or with flowers. There would be these freaking emergencies, if you can imagine that, in these lobbies where something had gone wrong or the owner had come in and was unhappy or something, and this crazy Brazilian guy, his name was Victor would go in and he would fix it. And a lot of the employees were using other substances and things were very much out of control, like that dream I was telling you about. And I was this guy who I had gone into business with my mom because I was tired of working alone. I was trying to bring some sanity to this situation. I was trying to have it feel more stable. Well, the thing that I learned in this business that we went on to teach Brad and Gwen later on was that we had set the business up for failure. And so while I kept going to firefighters to put out the fires, what I found out was that the firefighters were making the fires a lot of the time because they would do things in an incomplete way or in kind of a half-ass kind of way. And so every fix created a new problem. And what we were missing at the time, we had systems that weren't appropriate to these situations. So the systems themselves were not sustainable. Well, the first thing we needed to do was to sort of take the Moneyball approach. I don't know if you've seen the movie Moneyball, highly recommend it. Moneyball with Brad Pitt is all about a guy who's running a baseball team with a limited budget. And so he can't hire any superstars. He can't hire any glowing personalities to fix things. So he sets up the team with building on the strengths of each individual. And what he's figured out is that a team needs a certain set of strengths. It's not that one person has to have 5 or 6 of them. It's that the team needs to have a certain set of strengths. And he hires players by the things they're strong in and emphasizes their strengths only, instead of having one person who fixes it all. And he develops systems to have this team work, and they become incredibly competitive and almost take the World Series. He actually changed the face of baseball. Well, what we taught Brad and Gwen when they came to us is the lesson that we learned at Martinhurst Gardens at that time, and the lesson of Moneyball, which is you need to hire for individual strengths. You need to lean into those individual strengths. You need to create systems for helping bring forth those strengths. You need to create a machine that allows you to step back and to rebuild your relationship, rebuild your time with your family, rebuild your sense of vulnerability and intimacy, and create a truck that's in control, or be running so that you know that you're going to the destination. Because the alternative is to go on revving up the engine, going faster and faster, and always feeling like something is dragging you behind. It's that sense of, how am I doing everything right, but I can't seem to get there, right? That's what it feels like. But it's not that you're doing everything right. It's that you're doing everything that was right for where you were. It's not what is going to be right for where you're going. Now, I know if you're listening to this, that this is ringing your bell. I know this is resonating with you. So I want you to consider, is the problem really your partner? Is it really that they're not taking ownership of what they need to take ownership of? Or is the problem that you haven't created a Moneyball system for your business? A system where everyone leans into their strengths, and if you're missing a strength, you find someone who has it. Or are you in the situation that I was in? Are you running on a cult of personality? Are you hoping that one person takes care of everything when really they're barely taking care of themselves? Either way, you're setting yourself up for frustration. Either way, you're setting yourself up for being that runaway truck, or whatever metaphor you want to use, the boat that's dragging the anchor, you name it. That's the setup. And so if that's what's going on for you, I'm inviting you to schedule a call with me. Reach out to me directly, rich@richinrelationship.com, RICH@RELATIONSHIP.com, or go to our website, richinrelationship.com, and learn more about the products that we offer and the help that we give people. In the meantime, have an amazing day and a fantastic tomorrow.